Welcome to r/EntitledPeople, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story: know the cancellation policy and don't argue when you try to get away with SH. The second story: my boss fired me, and in a few weeks his business went under. The third story: entitled Karens, who are obsessed with lemons, complain about their price. The first story is 3 stories about terrible guests who tried to weasel out of our event cancellation policy. If you've ever stayed or worked at a hotel during an event weekend, whether sports, college graduation, or some other major event, it is clear to tell that hotels sell out fast, or at the very least are sold out said day of the event. My hotel is no exception. We're located about 1.5 miles away from a major Division I university, with the football stadium being a straight shot down one single road. There are 5 other hotels basically right next to us in our area, and dozens upon dozens more on the other sides of the campus. On football weekends and graduation weekend, every single hotel within 5 miles from each edge of the campus sells out at least a month before the event, with graduation specifically selling out more than half a year prior. I give this context to state that demand for rooms is extremely high for these special events. For that very reason alone, our cancellation policy for said special events is as follows. Once the reservation is made, you may cancel any time 7 days or more from the first day of the event, typically Fridays for these, and we charge a small cancellation fee. It's between $15 to $30, won't say the exact amount. You cannot cancel within 7 days of the event, or at the very least you won't get your money back. Makes sense, right? For events where we sell out at least months in advance, we don't want people hoarding rooms and then canceling last minute, when we could have sold it to at least a dozen other people, or possibly not selling it at all. Most people seem to understand, but there are 3 distinct reservations where they didn't quite grasp the concept. Story 1: you will not charge me a cancellation fee for canceling. That's robbery. For this first one, it was reserved for graduation weekend, which is the most sought after weekend for hotels. Our wait list typically outnumbers our total amount of possible rooms 3 to 1, and we have like 70 rooms too. For this event, we also had a 2-night minimum. We had 1 cancellation about 5 months before graduation, but it was scheduled for checking out Saturday and not the typical Friday and Saturday night, checking out Sunday reservations for that weekend. We checked our reservations waitlist document, and at the time had 2 of the 40+ total potential reservations on there who needed a Thursday and Friday night. My manager, who was working front desk alone one particular morning, said she called the first name in the queue. From what she said, the guy desperately needed the room and would gladly take it. He took it after the price was stated, kept saying he won't cancel when my manager was explaining the cancellation policy that's in bold above. Reservation made, confirmation email sent to him, second name in queue was never called. Fast forward about 2 days and it's my afternoon shift. I get a call from someone wanting to cancel his reservation, as he saw the price on the confirmation email and said it was more expensive than the room he booked at a different hotel. Yes, he did say that. I ask his name and check-in date and check to see if it's a third party or not. I see a staff note from my manager stating that she said the cancellation policy and what it was. Had someone new at the time who was getting used to it. I tell the gentleman that I will happily cancel, but we're charging the cancellation fee. He went ape SH. What do you mean you're charging a cancellation fee? I'm checking in Thursday. It's free. I'm sorry, but you're staying Friday as well, which defaults to our special event cancellation policy. You will not charge me a cancellation fee for canceling. That's robbery. I was not told about this when booking. I knew that my manager did tell him, since she would never forget, and even wrote it in the staff notes. Sir, our front desk agents are trained to tell all guests the cancellation policy for special event weekends, and it does say it on your confirmation too. That's BS. If I knew, I wouldn't have booked it. I booked this one just in case, as it's closer than my other hotel. I understand why you're canceling, but this is our policy and we're not making an exception. We have it in place so people don't hoard rooms during weekends where our waitlist outnumbers our total rooms. That last part, which I don't know if I should have said or not, makes him mad since that's exactly what he did. Only realizing that, by his own words during that call, that we're charging around $100 more than the other hotel he was holding a room. That is valid. We do upcharge event weekends like the other hotels in the area, but it's supply and demand as well as location too. He threatens to call corporate to have them cancel for him, and I gladly give the number. Corporate calls about 10 minutes later on a 3-way call with the guest, and I explain everything including our policy. Why we do it, what the guest said to me on the phone about holding a room while he was booked at a different hotel. only to cancel days later because he realized price isn't worth location, and that the cancellation not only is posted everywhere online, but that we told him during booking, and it is stated in writing on his confirmation email. They thanked me for the info and told the guest that he could keep the room or take the cancellation policy. He canceled, called us thieves, and wrote a nasty review about us. Story 2. What do you mean you can't cancel? Football weekend now, and I promise shorter story. I'm working afternoon again. It's the Saturday before a football weekend, so 6 days before the Friday of said event weekend. I get a call from someone asking how many rooms they had booked for the football weekend. I told her 4. She wants to cancel 2 of them. I look and see they were booked on our hotel's website itself, which for context does have our event weekend cancellation policy posted. She also made these reservations about a half year prior to this call. I'm sorry, ma'am, but even if I do cancel these, you won't be getting your money back from them. She gets confused and slightly angry. What do you mean I won't be getting a refund? I'm not checking in until Friday. It states that your weekend policy is 3 days before check-in. She's not completely wrong. That is our weekend policy is 3 days prior if checking in any day Friday through Sunday. I tell her that while yes, that is our weekend policy, that doesn't include event weekends, and while you were booking it states the cancellation policy for said weekend. I've stayed there many times and you always tell me it's 3 days prior. That explained what's going on. She assumed it was the same cancellation policy for every weekend, and didn't bother reading it for that weekend. I tell her again that if you book during an event weekend, you need to cancel 7+ days out, otherwise you won't get a refund for canceling. After a little more back and forth, I flat out tell her, look, you're not getting your money back. It is your choice to have those 2 rooms or pay for absolutely nothing. She kept the 2 rooms. She had a half year to decide to cancel, but chose to do it within the no-no zone. Story 3. Aw, I thought you were cool. One final quick story happened during graduation again, but a different year. It is the Friday where everyone is checking in, and I'm working the morning shift. A guy comes in around noon, says he has a reservation. Get his name and says he has 10 rooms. I tell him that and he says, yeah, I booked 10 rooms just in case family could make it for graduation, but they can't make it and I just need the one. You're good with canceling them though for free. It's early and you can resell them. Absolutely not. It's literally the day of check-in on the most sought-after weekend when our wait list had over 150 names on it, with more that didn't want to go on the list. I had 0 patience, especially since he assumed. Sir, you held 15% of our rooms and are canceling the day of when we've been sold out for almost a year. I'm sorry, but there's no way you're getting a refund. Aw, I thought you were cool. I had a $100 tip for you if you did it. He kept the rooms and I called my manager about it. She said add him to DNR because this apparently wasn't the first time he tried something like this, and he tried bribing staff to cancel a football reservation a year prior. The second story is, got fired, even though my very next text message was going to be I quit. It's been about a month since this happened, so I figure enough time has passed maybe I can post it without being doxxed. Even if I am, I don't care. I just know that my former coworker lurks on Reddit all day long, and he frequents this sub but whatever. I'm not going back there, so I don't care. I was working for about a year for my old boss. Under the table, $10 per hour. It started out awesome. I love the job. I basically got paid to deal with customers and stock 120-pound cases of liquor to the effing ceiling in my spare time. Needless to say, the novelty started to wear off pretty fast due to the stacking of giant liquor cases, as I was now doing the job of 4 or 5 people, and for the pay of less than 1 livable wage. I brought this up to my boss countless times. Told him if you aren't going to get me some people in here that will actually help me when we get busy, then I want a raise. He ignored it and joked and said dumb SH like, oh, so you're saying to pay you less? The whole time I'm just standing there thinking, keep effing around and see what happens. I'll walk out when we have 70 people in the parking lot waiting to get in. It isn't my store. Anyway, about a month goes by since I had brought it up, and day by day, I was working 6 days per week, Monday through Saturday. I was getting more and more fed up, closer to the pending explosion that I knew was going to happen if I didn't get the F out of there. So anyway, I ended up getting sick and took a Monday off. When I let him know I wasn't coming in, he responded with, can you at least come by and take the trash and the boxes off to the trash dump? Normally I'd say no, but this was literally 20 seconds around the corner from the store, so my stupid A agreed. I go load up my car with trash and boxes and I pull up to the dump. As I'm pulling up, the guy closed the gate, says he had no room for anything else. I spent the next 2 effing hours of my day off driving out my gas in my car, trying to find a place that would accept it. So that night when I got home and had some drinks, the more I thought about my day, the more it peeved me off. So I texted my boss. And I went off. I told him every single thing, every single issue I had with using my personal vehicle to take his trash off, when his own kids were there already and had a car to put it in. Oh yeah, I should mention, my coworkers were his sons, hence the reason why they never did anything. They would just ignore him until he started being at me to do whatever it is they refused to do, even though I was already doing 5 other jobs. I told him that if nothing changed within the next few days, whether it be a pay raise, firing them and getting me some help that would actually help, etc., that I couldn't guarantee I would be there much longer. In fact, I already had my next text typed up and ready to hit send when I got the notification. F it, you're fired. Yes, the typo and all. I just replied, LMAO, okay then, and a million middle finger emojis. His business effing tanked for the following few weeks. Every time I drive past, what used to have a completely packed parking lot and side lot now only has 1 or 2 cars there, and one of those cars is his. I currently make around $34 per hour on average delivering for DoorDash, and that's not including cash tips. That's just based on the in-app statistics. So yeah, F him and his measly little $10 per hour BS job. And the last story is... more lemons? What do you mean they aren't free? I worked at a restaurant that didn't give out little things for free. For example, if you wanted a separate side of lemon for your iced tea or water, it would cost you 50 cents. I didn't put the rule in place, but I had to enforce it, and you know how that goes. A 2-top came in, women in their 60s. They both order water and asked for a huge side of lemons. She even said, bring me a bowl of lemons, not some itty-bitty ramekin. I said no problem, but also warned it would cost 50 cents. They flipped out, berating me over a price I had no control over. Finally, I escaped and got them their water and a soup bowl full of lemon slices. The women attacked the lemons and no joke used every one. Their water cups were 75% lemon, 25% water and ice. While I was in the back, they asked another server for more. As he was supposed to, he came to me and told me to ring them up for another side of lemons. I added it to their bill. Throughout dinner, they would flag down other servers or busboys, asking for more lemons. Those coworkers also told me to add another side to the bill. When I finally printed the ticket for them, they had 5 lemon sides, which totaled a whopping $2.50. I dropped the check, hoping they'd just pay it, but nope, they wanted me to take it off the bill. Rather than argue, I got the manager. He usually sided with the customers, so I prepared myself to remove the charges, but he surprised me. He refused to take the lemon charges off, and when they got loud and abusive, he claimed I hadn't charged them enough for the soup bowl of slices. He left the table, added an additional $1.50 to the check, and brought them an updated version. They were even more outraged, but the manager wasn't having it. They paid the bill, lashing out at me with hatred about how they'd never come back. Finally, I had enough. I said, I'm a server that makes $2.13 an hour. I don't make the decisions about what is free and what we charge for. You being a-holes to me isn't going to change anything, other than make you look like a-holes. I walked away. I had never felt so good to stand up for myself, but I was shaking, terrified I'd lose my job. I told the manager what I said and prepared to be written up or fired. Instead, he said, good, they deserved it. Subscribe, click the like button if you want to support the channel. Thank you for watching.